yours, Strong Master Lee.
And Lulu.
All right, so we've been checking out Oliver Anthony and some of his other songs that have now blown up also because of his big viral moment here. And I thought it'd be interesting to cover this one called Ain't Got a Dollar, because the subject of money sure has come up a lot, especially since he turned down $8 million to go a solo. But I think it's really important to kind of put this into context. In our last video, I did go into the psyche of trying to understand why someone would do that, because honestly, I don't know if I could do that. Like $8 million, like I was saying, isn't just life-changing money. It's generationally life-changing money. Like for me and my kids and their grandkids, we can fuck it all up, and then maybe their great-grandkids will have nothing left. But that's 3 generations of good money, good spending. So, the one thing that I did find out about him was that, so one is he was really poor. So like turning down that kind of money was not an easy thing, right? He had a piece of land. He had an old beat up like RV that he bought for I think a couple $100. I'm sure it's leaky. I'm sure it ain't comfortable. And he's trying to get by, and he's turning to music, which is always really difficult as a performer. But his song did really blow up. Was number 1 charting for a while, and a couple of other songs of his also charted. So I think for like 1 or 2 days, he was making like $40,000 from downloads. So that's an insane amount of money. And so if you kind of put that into context, because I know that some people were adding it up, like, yeah, if he made $40,000 every day for the year, he'd be, rich already. I'm like, well, he's not going to stay on number 1 for the whole year. But I'm willing to bet if he continues to tour and write new music, he can easily be a millionaire. And I think if you really think about it, that's all you need to be able to live comfortably, especially where he's at, which is in the middle of Virginia. And I think that was the thing that he also recognized. It wasn't just the sort of, it's good for my mental health and I want to remain independent, purely that. It was, I have an alternative here that I can see myself making money, being independent, and that's all I need. Enough to get by. In this case, probably more than enough to get by, right? At his age, if he's making $1 million and he just puts it away, he could live off of the interest for that like forever, quite frankly. So going this route, independent, smart move. And, the one thing he was saying how he hoped he doesn't ever lose is that kind of feel of that working class scenario of like, I don't want to have to struggle anymore, but, I will continue to write songs about those who do struggle. And he wants to be able to remain close to that, which I think is...
Wow. That's impressive.
Really powerful. Yeah. Yeah.
That is impressive to have that kind of like ground. Stick to what you believe is
very
important
grounded
and
feel.
You value, right?
Man, we've been loving his music, man. He's got a beautiful sound, beautiful voice, and you just don't hear this kind of music anymore. By the way, if you want to hear some wicked wild stories, you got to check out my channel.
And if you want some hotness, check out my fantasy show. I wonder who that is.
Him.
Yes.
Well, I ain't got a dollar. I don't need a dime. I got a little spot in the country where I spend all of my time. When the sun goes down on this itty bitty town, we can light up the bowl and pass it around. I ain't got a dollar, but I don't need a dime.
I love the way he films this. Like, he's got to make sure every music he films from now, like every song he films from now on, everything he captures has the sound of nature around. You can hear the cicadas, you can hear the wind rustling, and it just really adds to the flavor of everything that he does. It's such a full suite embodiment.
I agree. I need this song every single day, maybe.
True story.
True story.
feel the sun shining down. Long as my old truck still fires on up and there's crops growing in the ground. We'll have to pick some muscadines right off the vines, get a little yeast and make a little wine. 'Cause I ain't got a dollar, but I don't need a dime.
He's dogs.
No applause or anything. What a bunch of unbreakable.
No. No. Oh, God.
I'll
Oh,
give you some
God.
applause, brother.
That is so true, though.
That is awesome, man.
Wow. They're used to you singing. For them, as like their nap time.
Exactly.
Like
The
they're-
minute you turn on, that's
It's home. It's
exactly. It's
home
comfort,
for them.
right?
Yes.
It's like a baby when it hears this lullaby and falls asleep. It's not that the baby hates the song. It's that they're that comfortable with you.
Yeah.
Unless you're also writing really boring music, which also could put dogs and babies to sleep. But that was no means boring, man.
Wow, that was wonderful. Really, it humbles you when you hear the song.
It does. I feel like we all have a lot of issues we deal with life, right?
We all have dreams.
we all have dreams.
That it's sometimes not that good because your dream are just way up there.
But man, if you ain't even got $1 to your name, that struggles right there.
Yeah.
But the song also really powerful. It's like, I ain't got $1, but you know what? He doesn't want handouts either. It's not like,
Yeah.
I don't want your dime, right? And I think that probably adds to a lot of his mentality of like how he thinks about, that $8 million contract, which by the way, in the music industry is not like, some people like in the music industry want to tear it down. Like, man, they're not really giving me $8 million, which is kind of true. A lot of these record labels will give you an advance. But like if you go record your own music, you hire this band, all that, like that comes from your own pocket. It's almost like we're lending you the money up front and then you get some royalties. So 8 million might have been like a really big number, but it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it was a lot of money for like going viral just once, right? That it was
Yeah.
life-changing money. And he's not for the handouts. He's all about being a working man.
Yes, freedom. That's our that's our motto. To have money and freedom.
That's right. I would say freedom is probably one of the most, not freedom like we think of this country, like, God bless America, freedom.
Not like
It's like freedom to make the life choices you want to make, right? If you want to eat Chinese food tonight, great. But if you really want a burger, great, right? It's having that. And money buys you freedom of that kind of choice. But yes,
yeah. There's
we
like
live by that
we want
mantra.
to go somewhere.
We want the option to be able to be free to make our own choice.
Yes.